What if I told you that there's an eye within you that never closes? An eye that doesn't see through the light of this world, but through the light of the soul. An eye the ancient Egyptians painted in the center of their gods' foreheads. That Hindus marked with a dot between the eyebrows. That Himalayan masters called ajna. And that Western initiates knew as the throne of the soul. This eye does not blink, it does not sleep, and it does not judge. It only reveals. It reveals that there is more, far more, than what you were taught to see. At the very center of your brain, hidden between the hemispheres of reason and emotion, lies a tiny structure holding immense power. The pineal gland. As small as a pea and as ancient as the stars. Its name comes from its shape, a pine cone. But to initiates, it is much more than a biological organ. It is the hidden eye, the true all-seeing eye, not the one that looks outward, but the one that looks within and recreates reality. Modern science says the pineal's function is simple. It regulates sleep cycles, manages circadian rhythms, and produces melatonin. But that is just the shell of the secret, because beyond its biological role lies a spiritual purpose. The pineal is the only gland in the body that stands alone. It has no pair. It is solitary, and that's no accident. It sits at the very center of the brain, surrounded by cerebrospinal fluid, protected as if it were a jewel inside a temple. And perhaps that's exactly what it is. A biological crystal. A transmitter of frequencies. A silent portal between the visible and the invisible. Its tissues possess piezoelectric properties, meaning they generate electric charge under pressure, like certain crystals. It contains apatite crystals that vibrate, and according to advanced researchers and mystical traditions, that vibration can pick up subtle energy fields, like a spiritual antenna. The Egyptians knew this. That's why they shaped the Eye of Horus to match the anatomy of the brain surrounding the pineal. The Hindus knew this. That's why they marked the forehead with the third eye, the Ajna chakra. The alchemists knew this. That's why they spoke of the hidden stone, the secret fire of the brain. The symbol of the pine cone appears in sacred places around the world. In the hands of Sumerian gods, at the center of Osiris's staff, and even the giant sculpture at the Vatican, resting mysteriously in front of one of the world's greatest spiritual institutions. But why a pine cone? Because the pine cone reflects the Fibonacci spiral, the divine geometry, the hidden order of the universe. But there's something even more striking. The pineal is the only part of the brain that calcifies over time, if not cared for. In other words, it petrifies. It loses its sensitivity, its vibration, its light. This isn't just biology. It's the soul reflecting its own disconnection from mystery. When we stop dreaming, when we ignore intuition, when we silence our inner truth, the pineal goes dormant. When we seek the light, when we meditate, purify, and go within, it begins to pulse again. That's why, for initiatic traditions, awakening the pineal is a spiritual rebirth. It's not about seeing ghosts, it's about seeing reality as it is. Pure vibration, pure consciousness. Why did every ancient culture speak of this eye in symbols? Because some truths can't be explained with words. Only initiates, those who truly seek, can understand them. In Egypt, the Eye of Horus symbolizes wisdom, vision, and spiritual protection, and when overlaid on brain anatomy, it perfectly matches the pineal region. In the Vedas, the Ajna chakra, the third eye, is located between the eyebrows. When activated, it transcends rational thought and opens gateways to subtle realms. In Kabbalah, it's the balancing point between the pillars, the center where opposing forces of the tree of life unite. And to modern mystics, the pineal is a cosmic receiver, like an antenna tuned to higher dimensions of consciousness. But what does this mean for you? It means there's more than one way to see. One that looks outward and interprets the world, and another that looks inward and creates it. The pineal is this eye that doesn't just observe, it manifests. When you meditate deeply, when you quiet the mind, when you connect to your purest essence, you're not just relaxing, you're awakening the hidden eye. And in this awakening, you begin to realize that reality isn't shaped by what you see, but by what you vibrate. This is the greatest secret of the mystery schools. You don't need to seek outside. The portal is you. The world doesn't want you to see with this eye, because those who see don't obey. Those who see are no longer limited. Those who see with the eye of the soul are no longer prisoners of fear, time, or control. So I ask you, are you ready to open your eye? Not the two that are already open, but the one that sleeps in the center of your being? This journey is not over. In the next episode, we'll explore the hidden symbols of the serpent, the spiral, and the staff of Hermes, and how they all silently conceal the same key to awakening consciousness. Subscribe, activate the bell, and share this video with someone who already senses that reality is not what it seems. Because now, you know where to look, and the eye has already begun to open.